Allimpuncha uñañaykuna turikuna ari ñuqayku kachkaniku kay Caucus Global de Jóvenes Indígenas.
Thank you very much for giving us the floor, sir. We'd like to mention that from the Global Caucus for Indigenous Youth, we applaud the process undertaken working towards the high-level plenary, which will be the World Conference of Indigenous Peoples. And at this time, the interactive hearings, the political process to promote our rights as young people and indigenous people is reflected in the fact that we can exercise our rights, participate in our peoples, and that these have such an impact on our individual and collective rights. The issues that youth, especially indigenous youth, find themselves before involves all of society as a whole. And so our requests and demands should be addressed because we should be seen as key to the development of our peoples. This is a call for governments to commit their efforts to guarantee our rights. Given the magnitude of the problem of violence, which disproportionately affects young women and indigenous girls in the world, we would like to support the claim put forth with regard to the need of creating and appointing a special rapporteur on all forms of violence against women. This would also make it possible for us to focus specifically on public policy to eliminate all forms of violence against indigenous women through programs and preventative processes as well as education in all cycles of life. We also recommend that the United Nations General Assembly establish a third decade of the indigenous peoples, since the past 2 decades have not brought visible changes, nor have they had a visible impact on the conditions of life for women and indigenous women and indigenous children. We urge states to include women as a cross-cutting issue, indigenous women and girls, in formulating policies, comprehensive policies, and they should also create specific policies with a special emphasis on indigenous women and girls and children, and thereby guarantee enough budget so that we can manage those policies and implement them. Rights are not a speech. Rights are something you live on a daily basis, and we have the hope of being able to fully enjoy our daily life and see progress in our daily life in terms of recognition of our rights. Thank you very much, sir.